things are very serious, and it's actually the reputation of the media organization at stake.
Our universities actually creates the foundation for the development of journalism, but the actual practice of journalism will have to be improved from outside, and the capacity building initiative being conducted by MCK is absolutely an awesome answer, and we'll be very willing to support it going forward.
There has been a lot of issues before on language and insensitivity in reporting, but I saw an improvement in this year's entries. There was quite some improvement. It was also interesting that for the first time you find that journalists are able to know that gender does not necessarily talk about women. It talks about both men and women.
Areas that need to be improved. Print has been going down, but the entries that came in are good, although still a lot of work needs to be done, especially in the visuals. Cartoons, like there were no entries. Photography, there were some entries, but some work needs to be done, and maybe this is where the Media Council should do some training. Photography, photos tell stories. The visuals in a publication tell more stories than the print.
The entries were fairly of high standard, but there were a few ones that frankly were quite annoying. And it seems to me that some of our journalists haven't quite been able to appreciate or understand the concept or notion of what an award-winning journalistic piece.
Need to encourage journalists to look at positive stories, not just look at depressing stories. Depressing stories sound nice, interesting, but they're also nice, positive stories which we can pick up along the way.
One of the best interventions I can recommend
an award-winning
AJEA 2021 nomination.
Now, for the sake of humanity, Jeff has advised me that we start this process. We will have our word of prayer. We will go then to our partners who are present. We will continue. Immediately, the chief guest comes. We will at that time make a decision to transition and then adopt her, in the program instead of sitting. So I know there's a transparency, there's a Katiba Institute, there is a RBA, who are the president, NHIF, Karibuni, NHIF. Katiba Institute is largely on good governance. RBA is largely business and financial. NHIF largely health because of the universal access to health. Another partner who is in the room I haven't mentioned. Are the Canadians online? Taimo, is the colleague from the Canadian High Commission online? You could check. I think Caro, Caro from TI, he feared the crowd. You can't talk before more than 10 people. So, so I think let's pray. Jeff now just manage. Then once Nene comes, we will adopt and move because she said he has only 1 hour. Hey, Jerry, you know Jeff is shocking me. He's saying he lead us in a word of prayer. So I say, the man every day I call him, he tells me he's in church. Domi, how are you? I think you lead us in a word of prayer. Hawa watu huwa wanapigia simu kila Sunday wanasema wako chache, mnaona vile wanakataa maombi. And a volunteer for word of prayer. You know what? Leo, you want to surprise us? Judy, okay. Okay.
Let's stand. We give thanks. God, we come before you this evening, this afternoon. We thank you for bringing us this far. We thank you that we're able to converge here, O God, and we give you all the thanksgiving and the glory, O God. Because, Father, we know a lot of things have been happening. For us to meet here today, O God, it's a blessing, and we thank you for everything, O Father. As we plan for the events ahead, O God, we call upon you, God. May your presence be here, O God. May whatever we are doing, O God, inject directly to the society, that we may change lives of the people, lives of the society, that we may become the channels of peace, development, democracy, and peaceful coexistence in the communities. Father, we thank you for the media in this country. We thank you for the Media Council of Kenya. We thank you for the judges. We thank you for the nominees, of God, and all the entire media industry in Kenya, oh Father. We know that it is going to start well and end well. For we pray this, believe and trust in Jesus' name. Amen.
Now, first, on Sunday, ukiniambia uko church. Like Jeff advised our partners, we will, given the COVID-19 related conditions, we were unable to bring all our winners in this room, you remember, but now that the country has been opened, we are planning a session where all the winners will assemble, plus obviously our partners for the presents and related. So for today, make quick, focused statements. Then obviously when we are doing in a week's time, we must bring all the winners and our partners together. Obviously to receive their zawadis, na lazima tupige selfie na wao, sio? Ni muhimu sana hiyo selfie ya maisha. So Jeff, continue.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Victor Bwire. A round of applause for him, tafadhali. Always an able and trustworthy co-MC in all of our events. Asante sana Bwana Bwire for that. Moving the event swiftly along, of course, this is the 9th Annual Journalism Excellence Awards, AJEA 2021. And once again, if you're joining us virtually or just stepped in, you want to post about it on Twitter, want to take a selfie, as you've been told, and post it out there, the hashtag that we're using is AJEA 2021. Again, hashtag AJEA 2021. We'd like to get your comments as well. For those who are joining the conversation and joining this particular event virtually, you can get those in. At this point in time, we'd like to get some remarks from the partners that have held our hand through this particular journey, supported this particular event, even in these particular circumstances, because let's be frank, I mean, COVID-19 has dealt all of us body blows and changed priorities, but we appreciate the fact that even in those changing priorities, AJEA wasn't one of those that were kicked to the curb. And for that, for all our partners, I'd also like to just give a round of applause for, them sticking by us through it all. Another round of applause for all our partners before we get them up. We can do better than that, guys. My goodness. Ama ni vile tuko na mask. I can't start calling people out here. We'll get to that shortly. But let's get to our partners as we get this program moving. I'd like to call up on stage the representative from the Katiba Institute. A warm round of applause for him as he comes on stage. Asante sana.
Thank you. The nominees, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of Katiba Institute, I would like to say just two key points. One is to commend the Media Council of Kenya for consistently having this occasion, the Annual Journalism Award. It's a very good event for journalism and for free press. Secondly, I would like to congratulate all the finalists. Having reached at this stage, I think whatever you've put in is worth at this stage. And also, because maybe I'll not have any other time to congratulate the winners in various categories. In this year's event, Katiba Institute, as you all know, our commitment or our mandate is basically to ensure that the Constitution is implemented as it is, and we will be very keen to follow up on the 20 Constitution that the Articles 33, 34, and 35 are implemented, and that's why we supported the Good Governance Award. So I would like to say that as an institution, we are happy and impressed at the organization of this event, and we hope that we will continue partnering with Media Council of Kenya with the same events and other events that are related to the Constitution, including empowering journalists in various aspects. Thank you.
Asante sana for that. Thank you so much, Katiba Institute, for being part of this particular journey and even in this particular awards as well. Next up, we'd also like to call the National Hospital Insurance Fund. We have a representative from there as well. A round of applause for her as she comes on stage. Asante sana. And I've just been informed we have a slight change. They'd like you to go up the stage, up on the podium. Can she have it done here or up on stage? You'll need it to go up, ma'am. Okay, tafadhali. You won't need this. You won't need it.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'd like to congratulate each and every journalist that has participated during this event. And as NHIF, we support health and above all, the journey towards UHC. We need you as the media to always tell a story, and your stories told should be believable and accurate because you tell the face or the mirror of the society. As NHIF, we need you to tell every Kenyan on the need to access affordable and quality healthcare, of which NHIF is a key provider to that. And in this journey towards UHC, where the government is supporting UHC, we encourage each and every one of you to encourage the people at home that NHIF is the way to go in order to achieve one of the big four agenda, that is universal health coverage. So thank you, and as we support the health award in this journey with the Media Council, we have worked together, and the opportunities that you have given us are immense, and the stories that you've told about families and the vision of health, especially right now with COVID-19. We need healthcare, and we need to embrace that. This is the journey, and this is one of the staple. We know that food, shelter, and clothing is key for us to survive. Now we have known the need of healthcare for us to survive as a nation and as individuals in the society. So continue telling your stories, unbiased stories, and we from NHIF will continue supporting. Thank you, and we congratulate each one of you because we are all winners. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Asante sana. At this point in time, I'd also like to recognize the presence of the Canadian High Commission. They're joining this particular event virtually, so they are plugged in as well, following it via video link. Thank you so much for being part of this award ceremony. I'd also like to call a representative from the Retirement Benefits Authority. Could they please come on stage? Asante sana. A round of applause for him as well as he comes up. Thank you so much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, and all the winners in today's AJEA, I want to appreciate all of you. I'm a journalist by training, and I feel very proud to be associated with winners. I come from the Retirement Benefits Authority representing our CEO, Mr. Nzomo Mutuku. And as the Retirement Benefits Authority, I want to appreciate because journalists know how to crunch the numbers. And I'm delighted that we even have a category on COVID-19 reporting. And journalists were giving reports of how people have been suffering because of COVID. And I'm aware that even journalists lost their jobs. Some had their pension, cut off or postponed to another time. And I wonder whether the journalists, including the winners, how many have joined a pension scheme? If today you lost your job, do you have something you can run to, you can lean on to, or you are among the statistics that you have been reporting? We have a plan to work with the with the Media Council of Kenya to empower all journalists to learn that you do not need your employer for you to join a pension scheme, because it's your life. There is life after this craft of journalism, and so we want to appreciate the support we've had at the sector reporting, and it has been accountable and responsible reporting. Because when it comes to business reporting, if you are careless, then you even injure the economy. So on behalf of the Retirement Benefits Authority, we want to appreciate and rejoice with all the winners. But the message is, COVID has learned us that you need to plan for an emergency. COVID may be here for a long time, but after COVID, what happens? You may have lost your job today. You may have dipped your hand in that kitty of your pension. But after you come back onto your feet, please keep on building that kitty, because you'll need it at another emergency. Thank you so much, and may God bless you all.
Asante sana for that. Some of the partners, of course, that have been part of this particular awards and made sure that this award ceremony, we'd also like to recognize the Communications Authority of Kenya, that is also a partner with us in this particular event in time. Transparency International, Kenya chapter as well, also part of the partners that made this a reality as they brought the 9th Annual Journalism Excellence Awards to fruition, AJEA 2021. We'll take a short break at this particular point in time as we move this event to the start. Thank you so much for that. We'll be starting shortly, but for those who are with us virtually, don't go too far. We'll be starting in just a bit. But of course, as we had said earlier, please keep your comments coming in. We'll be sampling some of those even as we move along. And the hashtag that you will be using either for those who are joining via video link or for those who are in the room will be hashtag AJEA 2021.
Tonton, sala effort, oyekola kobanga ngai. Nazali n'importe qui te. Je m'appelle Diallo Jean de Dieu. Yo salakala motema ya soso poniye. Alexa ya motema ya mbwa poniye. Eloko yo sanzi yo songisi na monoko. Esika baba yo mapanga olemba kokendete. Omer muela. Yo salakala motema ya soso poniye. Bilongo. Alexa ya motema ya mbwa poniye. Eloko yo sanzi yo songisi na monoko. Esika baba yo mapanga. Martin Nounou. Yo kakae, change na dresa lelina yo wana ya kalao. Yangwa motolongisa na yo mosala likoso. Kango pe olongwaka mosala kimaka yo. Alingaka yo kaka pona palanga e. Lelo bazongisi yo na mosala na yo kilozonga inga ye lisusu e. Savon Mwambo. Yo nyokolo konga mwasi na yo boye poni niye. O nyokolo komba no bota boye poni niye. Batu bayo duwetu ni wake utangolo lembate. Ozala kane ekonomi na ndako te poni niye.
with the disease and even on other issues. It was a special time for journalists because they were dealing with a pandemic that they had never imagined. However, they did well with it. We got information on what to do to protect ourselves. We got information on when to seek help, when to go to hospital, what to wear in order to protect ourselves. If the media was not there, it would have taken a very long time for us to get to know how to protect ourselves and even to understand details of this COVID-19. The Media Council of Kenya set out to find journalists who have excelled in the work that they do. And this year, we had 21 categories, and we had a few new categories that have not been there before. Some that had been designed to capture the new media platforms in terms of podcasts, in terms of online journalism. And we also introduced a COVID-19 category so that we could capture the excellence of telling stories about the disease. As we called out for entries, we received 1,119 submissions, and these were sifted down by 2 sets of panels comprising 15 eminent journalists, I must say, and the chair of the judging panel and the nomination panel is going to come and introduce that panel to us. And you will realize that it was a tough task for the judges to go through each and every story that was presented, both online, broadcast, and print. And at the end of today, we will see stories that excelled, stories that stood out, stories that captured the imagination of audiences and presented information in a clear, ethical manner. I want to welcome you to this event and tell you to wish those who will emerge as the best a successful career. Thank you very much. I wish to invite the CEO of the Media Council of Kenya to come and take this session to the next level.
Thank you. The Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, the Acting CJ and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, the Chairman and Council members of the Media Council, the Chairman and Commissioners of the Media Complaints Commission, the Chairman of the Judging Panel and the fellow judges, invited guests, journalists, good afternoon. It's a pleasure for us to gather here once more for the annual Journalist of the Year Award, an event which we hold annually when there is no pandemic or when we can afford it, to honor the best of the best. As you have heard today, we have 18 winners from an initial pool of 1,119. That means that over a period of 14 days, about 14 judges have sat day and night, and I literally mean day and night because I have evidence of times when they slept at 4 a.m. to bring the very best. It is interesting that while the very best has very good quality and display of journalism, currently we are seeing journalism in very difficult situations. We are facing economic challenges in the newsrooms. There's a lot of technological revolution, which pits some of us not very sure what to do, or rather technology moves too fast. There is the pandemic of fake news and deep fakes, the ability to edit, including videos and voices, so that what is saying is almost real yet it's fake, and the pandemic that has really ravaged the newsroom. But in the midst of all this, we have seen extremely high quality pieces of journalism, and we hope that the awards today, the recognition today, we will have more people encouraged to practice their work. Specifically, Madam CJ, we are honored to have you here because many a times, including the past 1 or 2 weeks, we have journalists and journalism under pressure and under threats. We try what we can, the media sector organizations and the Media Council, but always the last option remains the courts. So when we have your presence here, we are assured that when all is lost, the members of the fourth estate will come to the judiciary to be helped to do their job, so that at least we can ensure that our young democracy sustains and that media can be left to do its job. Without further ado, but just before I invite the chairman, I would like Madam CJ to tell us something when eventually you come here, because we go to the court for translations. So when we have a donkey carrying a luggage and going to the market, would we classify that in the Ministry of Transport or Trade or Livestock? Suppose this landed in court, what will you tell us? Thank you very much. Bana Chairman.
Good afternoon, all. Honorable Lady Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, Acting CJ and President of the Supreme Court, CEO Media Council and the Media Council Secretariat staff, Board of MCK. Not all of us are here today. We are represented by Patience Nyange, Susan Karago, and the rest of the team are following us online. Members of the Complaints Commission, led by Chair William Okech and Dismas Kiprono. Distinguished guests here and online, karibuni sana. Today, unlike other years, and I'm not counting last year, today is far better because we can gather like this. Last year, we did not even gather. So these are signs that we are emerging from this thing. Next year, I think we'll throw up our hands and do it all physical to award our best in journalism. The council is honored to host you this afternoon, the participants, the winners, and our guests, and especially the winners. Every year, the Media Council sends out a call for submission for stories to writers, photographers, and other categories of journalism to participate in, to compete in these awards. It's the epic of awarding in Kenyan journalism. Internationally, we compare to some of the best, like the CNN Journalist of the Year Award, which is also hard hit by COVID. I don't even know if it's still existing. In America, they have the Pulitzer. In Kenya, we have the AJEA. The winner here is the winner in the epic of Kenyan journalism. Why do we honor journalists who win like this? It's to encourage excellence. No wonder it's called AJEA, excellence in journalism. Excellence in journalism is hard to achieve, as journalism appears to become simpler with all the digital age and internet age. It becomes harder. Competition has become harder. I was speaking to a KTN journalist outside here before we came in. He covered this event yesterday. He covered it so well. I think he's 21 or he could be 22. He'll confirm later. And when I saw him there, I called him and told him, when I was your age, and that I think was 1991, I covered a story like that. I covered it so well. I gave him a story I covered that won me an award. And I hope he's winning today. I've not seen the names of the winners yet. I told him, I wish the way you covered yesterday is the way you do your journalism. Why we award these winners is because we want them to excel. We want them to be best at where they practice. These days, we have journalists coming together to congregate with identity. The other day, we launched the Crime Journalists Association. Madam CJ, Honorable Acting CJ, in the courts, we have a Court Journalists Association. In Parliament, we have a Parliamentary Journalists Association. We are having journalists realizing that to do better, they do better when they specialize. And we are here at the end of every year to award you when you excel. So this is just to keep it short, to congratulate you who have won. Those who did well, keep trying. AJEA will continue honoring your achievements. And the more you excel, the better we come out as media in Kenya. So I want to thank the Secretariat for organizing this, the judging panel, led by our chief, Mr. Wangedi Mwangi. It's tough work. I can confess, before I became chair, I was a judge for about 4 years. It's difficult work. It's strenuous, but it is also excellent to bring out the best in Kenyan journalism. Honorable Madam Chief Justice, I will not preempt the MC, who will surely welcome you here in the Call of Words, but I want to welcome you and tell you thank you very much for honoring our event. We feel honored. You sit in an epic chair in Kenyan justice, and we feel welcome. The CEO, even if you can't answer his question in full, I know he already knows the answer, but we will still want to hear your answer. Thank you very much. Karibu sana, Madam Chief Justice, our guest of honor. Karibu.
Well, at this particular point in time, as we welcome on stage the Acting Chief Justice, Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mbete Mwilu, as she comes to address that conundrum of jurisprudence in the marketplace and a donkey, please put your hands together and give a warm applause for the Acting Chief Justice, the Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu. A round of applause, tafadhali.
We shall deal with first things first and shall deal with the cases later. Mr. Maina Muturi, Chair, Media Council of Kenya, David Omoyo, CEO, Media Council of Kenya, Mr. David Makali, the chair of the AJEA judging panel. I think I need to declare my interest here in good time. One of the people I've truly admired in the profession. All journalists here present and watching us from elsewhere. Media practitioners here present and elsewhere. Ladies and gentlemen. I don't know whether it's good evening or good afternoon, but whichever it may be, good evening. Now, it gives me exceptional pleasure to be present here with you today at the 2021 Annual Journalism Excellence Awards Gala. It is an apt and befitting way to commemorate yesterday's World Press Freedom Day and to highlight and celebrate the great work of our journalists and your most important contribution to our society through your noble craft. Every year around the 3rd of May, events are held across the globe to commemorate World Press Freedom Day. Amongst the events commemorating this date across the country is this gesture event, the Annual Journalism Excellence Awards, through which the Media Council of Kenya seeks to enhance and encourage professional practice among journalists as they collect, process, and disseminate information. The awards are a continuous annual celebration of journalistic excellence and achievement in our country. They also provide a platform through which young and upcoming journalists can progress in their careers both in and out of the newsroom. World Press Freedom Day provides specific pause during which we remind ourselves of the import of Articles 33 and 34 of the 2010 Constitution, the freedom of expression and freedom of the media, of the liberties, opportunities, and fulfillment they provide us, but attendant thereto, the duties and responsibilities they bestow. It is a period during which we express our appreciation for you, the media, the important service and role you play in our society, the need for all actors, public and private, to support and protect and strengthen a vibrant and objective media, and most solemnly, a period to remember all those journalists who have lost their lives in the pursuit of a story, in an endeavor to bring us the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of the World Press Freedom Day 2021 is information as a public good. Information as a public good. There's a technical as well as an informal aspect to this theme, at least to my mind there is, both of which are most useful. Technically, we could ask to what extent can we really consider media, especially print and broadcast media, public goods? To what extent could we consider them as being public goods? Conceptually, a public good is defined by two characteristics: non-rivalry and non-excludability. We can then ask, how do you in the media move towards universal access and equitable empowerment for those who consume your information. In the second, which is the more general sense, we consider media's utility in enhancing our common shared interests as Kenyans. How does the media, through the information it seeks and disseminates, enhance our bonds and development as a society, particularly in this age of hubris of fake news? The importance of verified and reliable information cannot be underestimated. Indeed, you have an important role as media in actively tackling misinformation and other harmful content. I hope you found opportunity during this year's celebrations to mull over the import of the important them information as a public good. My brothers and sisters, we gather here today under the cloud of an unprecedented pandemic that continues to ravage our economies and societies and alters in significant respects the way we operate, both socially and professionally. Lives and livelihoods have been lost across all sectors. The media sector has not been spared. Journalists, by virtue of their work, have been exposed to COVID-19. They've been infected, and a number have sadly succumbed. As the economy suffers under the effects of the pandemic, layoffs and restructuring of media organizations in our country have reportedly resorted to, in just the last 1 year, in losses of jobs of more than 250 journalists. This, of course, has had a devastating effect on their families, those that depend on those journalists or media practitioners as breadwinners, not to mention the affected careers of the said journalists themselves. All over the world, as lockdowns became the norm, the importance of the media was further magnified. You kept us informed. You kept us entertained. You kept us accountable. We need to reflect this recognition and appreciation by taking better care of our journalists and media practitioners. The already tough media terrain in which correspondents operate has only been made tougher by the pandemic. So then, what did we do as consumers of the sweat of the brow of journalists to appreciate them? What did we do? A few of us stood and clapped for a brief moment there for doctors and nurses, whom we described as frontline heroes and heroines. Don't journalists belong in that category? Did they not bring us the information concerning the pandemic, how to stay safe, the effects on all sectors? Did they not? Is that not commendable? Shouldn't journalists, therefore, among us others, have been singled out for appreciation in more ways than one? As we recognize and celebrate the work of journalists today, we cannot ignore the difficulties they face, the difficulties you face, not just as you collect, process, and disseminate news and information, but as you seek to make a decent, honest livelihood from the passion of your profession. Friends, the range of awards categories illustrate the robust and vibrant state of our media sector. The stories we celebrate today are a clear indication of journalists' willpower and commitment to bring out the genuine experiences of Kenyans and communities across the breadth of this nation. In keeping us all well informed and aware, you empower us as citizens. You enhance accountability of those who exercise the delegated sovereignty of the Kenyan people and those entrusted with the expenditure and use of our public precious resources. In a sentence, you are an indispensable part of our constitutional democracy, sometimes called to pay the ultimate price for doing the right thing, telling the truth as it is. You will all agree, I hope you will all agree though that there is a lot more that could be done towards making the information you disseminate be characterized as a public good. Further, there are always things that you can do towards improving your craft aesthetically through your creativity, imagination, and innovation that you are blessed with. However, nothing I say, and I say nothing, should come between you and telling the truth, the absolute truth. Nothing should come between you and your duty to tell the truth. No inducement or any other such malevolent incentive should blemish your otherwise good journalistic integrity. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I join all Kenyans in celebrating you, our journalists and media practitioners today. I congratulate you all, especially those who will collect an award today, for we all know the hard work, dedication, commitment, and often, unfortunately, the risks that you have to take to bring us news, information, and entertainment, things that we cherish. To the Media Council of Kenya and the annual Journalism Excellence Awards judges, your efforts are commendable as they go a long way to encourage quality journalism, promote fearless professional practice of journalism, and set the standards for representative voices in the media. We commend you. Before then I conclude, certain submissions were made earlier as to some interpretation of some critical constitutional issues of transport, trade, and something else. Is the donkey a means of transport, or is it livestock? Is what it is carrying to the market merchandise for trade? A considered determination of the above shall be given once the issues are clearly defined and framed. For now, suffice it to say that you will get the interpretation you seek. If you want to hear that the donkey is a means of transport rather than livestock, then you frame your issues appropriately. If you want to hear that the donkey is livestock, then ask your lawyer to be precise in the presentation of the issue. As I conclude, brothers and sisters, please let us continue masking up. Let us continue washing our hands. Let us continue to sanitize. Let us keep that necessary distance in compliance with what we are told by the Ministry of Health people, so that we can try to save our lives. Together we must overcome this pandemic. I thank you, my brothers and sisters, for listening to me. Wish you all the very best, the winners and those that were not winners this time round. There's always a second time. And may the good Lord bless both you and I, and bless our country. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Acting CJ, Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu. And as the proverb goes, if you live long enough, you'll see everything under the sun, because I'm sure before this event, no one would have thought Lady Justice Mwilu would be asked to give and weigh in with jurisprudence on what a donkey really is. But wise judgment indeed. And another round of applause for that as we get into the meat of the day. And also, on a note that they always say that Lady Justice is blind, and that's why in any depiction of that statue, you'll always see them blindfolded. They don't want to know if your creed, your age, your religion. But I'd like to say in this particular space and time, Lady Justice Mwilu is not fashion blind. Absolutely resplendent in that African regalia. A round of applause, tafadhali. Asante sana. Asante sana. And at this point in time, I'd like us to move this conversation forward. Cometh the moment, cometh the time where we present the awards. 18 categories, lots of work put in, and this is where the rubber really meets the road, both virtually and in the room, to find out from the nominees that we had who will make the cut. This is where we begin. AJEA 2021.
AJEA 2021 nominees: Business and Financial Reporting. Print: Faustine Mailu, Daily Nation; Patrick Alushula, Daily Nation; Paul Wafula, Daily Nation. Radio: Josphat Kioko, Voice of America; Mercy Tyra Murengu, Upendo FM; Faiz Abdallah, Radio Rahma. Television: Zainab Wandati, NTV; Stephen Kiprop, Citizen TV; Nicholas Mudimba, CGTN Africa.
And in the print category, Business and Financial Reporting, the winner is Paul Wafula. Billions, Bullets, and Bravado, the untold story of SportPesa. If you got to read this three-part series, he takes us around the world, from the Cayman Islands to Czechoslovakia, brings us back to Nairobi, a very insightful piece on the money trail and what really happened in the heart and soul of what was one of Kenya's biggest gambling corporations, SportPesa. This story was carried by the Daily Nation in Nairobi. We'll move it right along to the radio category of Business and Financial Reporting, and the winner in this category is Mercy Myra Murengu. A round of applause for Mercy.
Biashara ya konokono ni nadra katika nchi ya Kenya, kwani wakulima wasiozidi 10 wamejitosa katika ukuzaji wa viumbe hawa ili kujimudu kimaisha. Katika nchi kama Uchina,
and who would have thought that in the agribusiness space there would actually be a place where you can actually make some money because of snails. Konokono kama kitega uchumi. This story aired on Upendo FM in Uasin Gishu. And finally, in the Business and Financial Reporting television category, the winner is Stephen Kiprop.
KBR au ndio watu ambao nitusaidia sana. Kuna mara mingi ng'ombe imechukuliwa ya hawa wanaenda hata usiku. Hata wanaenda usiku.
A story that just captures the never-ending conflict of a pasture and cattle rustling at the expense of society. This story was titled The Bandit Economy and aired on Citizen Television right here in Nairobi. From Business and Financial Reporting, we move it along to COVID-19 reporting.
COVID-19 reporting. Print. Soila, Kenya. The Star. Henry Owino. Science Africa. Bernardine Mutanu. Nation Media Group. Radio. Cynthia Gishiri. Radio Yetu. Isaac Lemoka. Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Shadrach Odinga. Ruben FM. Television. Elijah Kanyi. Freelance journalist. Kisenya Tabitha. Ebru TV. Nelson Aruya. Citizen TV.
And the winner in the print category, Bernardine Mutanu. Let's give her a round of applause. This story carried by the Daily Nation, what the cold season means for the war against the deadly COVID-19. Of course, lots of questions were raised at the onset of the pandemic, and those questions were answered in this aptly written story carried by the Daily Nation of the Nation Media Group in Nairobi. In the radio category, COVID-19 reporting, the winner went to Isaac Lemoka.
When a mother's milk is not available for one reason or another, the World Health Organization recommends the provision of pasteurized donor human milk for babies with special nutritional needs.
And as doctors even describe breast milk as the perfect food, what happens when a mother can't get that particular nutrition to her children? Human milk banking was the story, and this was covered by the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation right here in Nairobi. Finally, in the television category, the winner is Nelson Aruya. Hey, I can hear that. A round of applause for Nelson, tafadhali. There we go.
In this two-part special assignment, we will hear from Kenyans who have contracted the coronavirus disease locally.
This story was done by Nelson Aroya and Asha Mwilu when they took us really to the front line of what dealing with this particular pandemic was and gave us a medic's point of view. Round of applause for them. Inside coronavirus wards in Bagathi and the Kenyatta National Hospital. This story was carried by Citizen Television in Nairobi. From Matters COVID-19, we move it along to the Development Reporting Awards.
Development Reporting. Print. Leopold Obi. Nation Media. Wanjohi Kabukuru. New African. Caroline Chebet. Standard Group. Radio. Ruth Care. Radio Rahma. Faiz Abdallah. Radio Rahma. Michael Kwena. Deutsche Welle Radio. Television. Noreen Ondiro, Metropole TV. Maurice Onyango, Africa Uncensored. Martin Munene, Citizen TV.
And in the print category, in this Development Reporting Award, the winner is Caroline Chabet. Round of applause for Caroline. Her story, Inside Restoration Plan to Save Choking Tana Delta, went inside, found really what's going on and how human activity really is choking this particular resource. It was carried by the Standard from Nakuru in this particular section, and she is a winner in this print category. In radio, the winner is Michael Kwena. Round of applause for Michael, please. Let's not tire for clapping for this particular day, ladies and gentlemen. I know worked really hard and even submitting this as well.
Isiolo ni jimbo ambalo lipo katika eneo la mashariki mwa Kenya na idadi kubwa ya wakazi wake ni wafugaji. Jimbo hili pia ni mojawapo ya majimbo mengine hapa nchini Kenya ambayo vijana wake wameripoti kuhangaishwa pakubwa kila wanapotafuta vitambulisho vya
right to walk into any Huduma Center and get their ID. For some people it's not as easy as that. Changamoto ya kupata vitambulisho vya kitaifa Isiolo. That's the story that was done by Michael Kwena for Deutsche Welle in Isiolo. And finally, in the television category, the winner is Maurice Onyango.
As of June this year, our public debt was 6.6 trillion shillings. But how does debt affect the citizen beyond the common statements such as each Kenyan citizen, including those being born now, owes creditors at least 139,000 shillings due to public debt?
I just want us to pause and reflect on that figure right there, even as we applaud Maurice Onyango, because when we sit in this room, each and every head in here, 139,000 Kenya shillings is what you owe in terms of public debt, and that's what Maurice Onyango brought out in terms of Kenya's debt cycle. People have said as a joke that at times mwanaume, mwanamke ni madeni, but that is a shocking statistic right there. Absolutely, indeed. And that's why he was the winner in this particular category. Kenya's Debt Cycle, a story done by Africa Uncensored in Nairobi. A round of applause for him, tafadhali. Okay, we'll move it right along from that to environment reporting.
Environment reporting. Print. The nominees are Wanjohi Kabukuru, New African; Joseph Murima, Radio France International; Paul Wafula, Nation Media; Radio, Ruth Care, Radio Rahma, Lina Mwamachi, Sifa FM, Hilary Makoha, Baraka FM; Television, Mauritius Odwor, Citizen TV; Dennis Mbaye, Africa Uncensored; Daniel Kaburu, MediaMax Network Limited.
And the winner in the print category of environment reporting is Paul Wafula. Rotting from the deep, the tragedy that is Lake Victoria, what human activity has done to this particular resource, which is also the source of the River Nile, and what we can do to actually restore it, is a story that was carried in the Daily Nation, courtesy of the Nation Media Group in Nairobi. In this same reporting awards category, radio, the winner is Lina Mwamachi. A round of applause for Lina, please. She's watching virtually and wants to hear you clap for her and her hard work. Thank you so much. Asante.
Thuluthi tatu ya vyakula mbalimbali duniani huchafushwa na nyuki, hivyo kuwezesha kuafikia malengo ya maendeleo endelevu ya mwaka 2030 katika kuimarisha lishe na mazingira. Kulingana na shirika la chakula na kilimo
There's
duniani,
no denying that climate change has changed so many things in how we operate, from how we do business to agribusiness as well. And it's also affected bee farming, and that's the story she carried. Athari za mabadiliko ya hewa kwa ukulima wa nyuki. This aired on Sifa 107.7 FM in Voi, Taita Taveta. Finally, wrapping up the Environment Reporting Awards television category, the winner is Daniel Kaburu.
Kilomita kadhaa kutoka katika ziwa hili viungani mwa mji wa Nyahururu ni chemichemi hii ya Manguo ambao ni sehemu ya mto wa Sonarok. Kwa muda sasa imeharibiwa, huku ufugaji na uchafuzi wake kwa njia ya maji taka na aina nyingine ya uchafu kutoka katika mtaa wa Manguo ukitishia viumbe hapa.
Another piece that just underscores how human activity really as Mother Nature. Chemichemi Kavu, carried by K24 Television, the winner in the television category, Environment Reporting. We'll move it from environment to governance reporting. Who are the nominees?
Governance reporting. Print. Sylvia Mukiria, Code for Africa; Stephen Okech, Nation Media; John Mudhoni, Standard Group; Radio, Faiz Abdallah, Radio Rahma; Guyo Jilo, Radio Jangwani; Timothy Kiplimo, Kas Media; Television, Hussein Mohammed, KTN; Shamason Osiago, NTV; Timothy Otieno, KTN.
And in the print category, governance, the winner is John Muthoni. Round of applause for John. You are seeking to answer the question, how long and how far are you willing to fight for what you feel is rightfully yours? In this particular article, 24 years was what it took. The 24-year fight for a 2 billion shilling estate was a story that he carried, and this was done and published in The Standard right here in Nairobi. In the radio category, governance reporting, the winner is Guyo Jilo.
Viongozi wengi humu nchini wameonekana wakikiuka agizo hilo muhimu na kuweka maisha ya raia wengi hatarini. Hii ni baada yao kuwahusisha wakazi wa maeneo mbalimbali katika mkutano ya hadhara.
Of course, even as you look at this particular story right there, makala ya unafiki waongozi, especially at a time when the world was looking for leadership, you needed genuine leaders who had the interests of the people at heart, and that's the story that Guyo Jilo was bringing to the fore, courtesy of Radio Jangwani in Marsabit. Finally, wrapping up the governance reporting television category, the winner is Timothy Otieno.
They live among us. Burdened by nature, living with a condition that does not discriminate, yet leaves its victims discriminated.
A story that absolutely pulls at your heartstrings once you get to watch it. The tribulations of refugees seeking nationality in a third host country and living with disabilities as well. Access Denied was the title of this particular story, carried by KTN News, courtesy of a Standard Media Group as well, from Busia. And if there's one other thing we've noticed is that if Timothy Otieno was ever in doubt, if he had a fan in the room, there's one right here at the front. Timothy, always know that, right here. Big fan of yours. A round of applause for Timothy, please. Asante sana. We move it from governance now to the Health Reporting Awards.
Health Reporting, Print, Angela Okech, Nation Media, Joy Kirigia, Africa Uncensored Online, Leon Lidigu, Nation Media, Radio, Emma Marevu, Bahari FM, Masi Tyra Murengu, Upendo FM, Omondi Onyango, Milele FM, Television, Timothy Otieno, KTN, Dennis Okari, NTV, Waihiga Mwaura, Citizen TV.
And in the Health Reporting Awards print category, the winner is Joy Kirigia.
Wa kumi. Ndio tulijulia huko Esther ako na kansa. Kutoka hapo tukauliza tufanye aje, wakaniambia nikuje nimpeleke Kenyatta aanze chemotherapy.
That would be the beginning of what they tell me has been a most painful journey in search of medical treatment.
And not only is it a winner, but this particular video snippet went viral as she complained on how she can't access healthcare. Saving Esther was the title of this particular story, about Esther's journey living with cancer and the challenges she faced accessing treatment. It was done by Africa Uncensored right here in Nairobi. In the radio category, the winner is Omondi Onyango.
Usafi ni jambo muhimu mno, haswa kipindi hiki taifa linapokabiliwa na maambukizi ya homa ya corona. Vituo vya polisi havijasazwa katika kuhakikisha wanaokiuka sheria wanazuiliwa katika mandhari salama.
In Nairobi, under the COVID cloud, we were all taken back to what we were taught as toddlers. Wash your hands every single time, practice hygiene, and this is the story and the thrust of what Omondi Onyango was bringing out. Balaya usafi vituoni. This aired on Milele FM right here in Nairobi. Finally, in this particular Health Reporting Awards, the television category, the winner was Dennis Okari.
Injecting chemicals into meat to prolong shelf life is not an uncommon practice in the country and other parts of the world. It's an old practice. A source demonstrated to us how some poultry distributors and retailers inject chicken with water mixed with this animal protein, mainly pork and beef or protein powder.
And since I know this is one of Victor Bwire's delicacies, I don't know whether it had him have a double think, or whether he might want chicken on his plate or not. I don't know. The jury is still out on that one, but Red Alert was the title of that particular story, and it aired on NTV. We'll move from the health reporting category to ICT and telecommunications reporting.
ICT and telecommunication, print, Daniel Ogeta, Nation Media, Lilian Museka, Talk Africa, Faustine Mailu, Daily Nation. Radio, Faiz Abdallah, Radio Rahma, Masi Tyra Murengu, Upendo FM, Ruth Care, Radio Rahma. Television, Alfred Cheruyot, Citizen TV, Joy Kirigia, Africa Uncensored, Noreen Ondiro, Metropole TV.
And the winner in the print category, ICT and telecommunications reporting, is Faustine Mailu. Her story, just a click away. Apps brings doctors to your home. And of course, during this COVID time when people are afraid to venture into hospitals because of the unknown, this particular app was absolutely godsend. And that's a story that Faustine Mailu did for the Daily Nation right here in Nairobi. Moving on to the radio category, the winner is Mercy Tyra Murengu.
Wakati mwingine visa hutokea kuwa mtoto anapozaliwa anaibiwa ama anabadilishiwa mama mwingine, haswa wanapokuwa kina mama zaidi ya moja katika chumba cha kujifungulia.
And I can say this without doubt, I think this is